These are 6 modern fantasy series that feel like classic fantasy. So there's a lot to love about classic fantasy. Battles of good versus evil, iconic creatures and races, ancient prophecies, and humble farm boys discovering that they're the chosen one and must go on an epic quest. And while these tropes do still get used today, a lot of modern fantasy tends to feel more complex with morally ambiguous characters, faster pacing, and harder magic systems. And there's nothing wrong with any of that, but sometimes I do long for the pure escapism of the classic stories that felt ripe with possibilities. So, on that note, here are a few modern series that scratch that nostalgic itch for classic fantasy vibes, only without any of the problems that tend to pop up in classic fantasy, like the lack of diversity or substantive female characters. First, The Echo Saga by Philip C. Quaintrell. This 9-book series takes place in a vast world that really engages the imagination. It also features elves, dwarves, dragons, grand heroes, and ancient prophecies. The Rhaenyra Revelation by Michael J. Sullivan. Michael J. Sullivan's books are a perfect example of modern fantasy with a nostalgic feel. This series utilizes classic fantasy tropes like rogues, princesses, and ancient conspiracies, but it's also character-driven and really accessible. The Ilborn Saga by Daniel T. Jackson. Now, although this series has elements of grimdark fantasy, it also features ancient prophecies, chosen ones, and ambiguous magic in a medieval-type setting. The Riven World series by M.L. Spencer. Dragons, a chosen one, legendary heroes, a world-defining prophecy, and a plot that pits the forces of good against the forces of evil. What else do I really need to say? The Faithful and the Fallen by John Gwynne. To me, this series felt like a perfect blend of modern and classic fantasy elements. The story focuses on a massive battle of good versus evil. There's an ancient prophecy with a chosen one, and there are also great kingdoms, epic battles, and cool mythical beasts. And last but not least, The Darkwater Legacy by Chris Wooding. This series feels like an homage to classic epic fantasy. The main characters come from nothing to go on a heroic coming-of-age journey. There's a legendary chosen sword, and the story focuses on a rebellion against an evil empire. All right, so those are my picks. But what about you? What's a modern fantasy series that really felt like classic fantasy? Let me know in the comments.